Did you know that the appropriate share its borders with the inappropriate? Yes. Just as a country that has its borders by another country, you who live by a border or you visited a border of any country, you see how interesting it is for you to take one step forward and you are in another country, and if you take another step backwards, you are in another country. It's quite interesting, the borders. It is an imaginary line. There are no walls. In other places there are. But the majority of borders, there are no walls. It's just an imaginary line that crosses a country. On one side, one country, and on the other side, another country. Likewise, the appropriate and the inappropriate. In the world, there isn't a clear separation that you can say, those people do good and are good, and those are bad and do bad. No, they are mixed, walking together. Am I right? At times, they are neighbors. And sometimes they live in the same house or in the same street. They are different people, but there's not a label or a sign that can identify them. You only learn after the good or bad manifests out of them. So you don't see good and bad in a distinct way. That's why I say they share the same border. Evil and good live together with each other. The appropriate live together with the inappropriate. They are always bumping into each other. This is the world. Why is this important for you to know? We know that since the beginning, God has designed the world like this. There, in the middle of the Garden of Eden, He placed a garden. And the scriptures are clear that it was in the middle of the garden. It was not in an isolated corner or on top of a high mountain, hard for men to get there, only with a lot of determination to climb that mountain and to eat of the tree. No, it was in the middle of the garden. So regardless of the direction men would take, men and women who come from or go into, they would pass by the tree because it was in the middle of the garden. But God told them, you can eat out of every tree in the garden. Everything is yours. God literally gave the world for man to take care of it. Everything under His responsibility. He only separated that tree to teach human beings, as they were gifted with freedom of choice. So God left in the middle of the garden the tree to teach man self-control and to learn to say no to the things that are not good. Because how can you be free if you cannot say yes or no to something? Many complain and they say, why did God place that tree in the middle of the garden? Well, the alternative was God to make us like robots, to be programmed to say yes or no to everything He says. There wouldn't be any advantage. God wouldn't have our love, because love is a choice. When someone loves, it's because they chose to love the other. It's not something forceful. That's why the tree in the middle of the garden. But it is good for us that we may learn and practice self-control. So since Eden until today, the appropriate bumps into the inappropriate. Good lives side by side with evil, per se. And usually, there's not an apparent wall separating both. So that's why, in your daily life, you must understand that there is the appropriate and the inappropriate, and they can be very close or very far. For example, there is the appropriate look and the inappropriate one. The Bible speaks about the adulterous eyes. How often a married person has an adulterous eye towards someone else, and the other, who also knows that they are married, and they exchange looks, and there adultery begins. That's why Jesus said that we should nip it in the bud, in the look. So there is the good, respectful look and the inappropriate one. There is the appropriate outfit and the inappropriate one. You know that. For example, you go to the gym and you do exercises for your health. There is the appropriate exercise for your health. You go to the gym for your health, and there is the going to the gym in an appropriate way, whether through your outfit or by what you do there. Am I right? So basically, for everything, there is the appropriate and the inappropriate. There is watching something inappropriate on the TV or on the internet, and also the inappropriate one. With music, how you spend your money, your behavior, everything in life, you must know there are two options and they are very close to each other. At times, just one step for you to let go of the appropriate and to embrace the inappropriate is one word, one decision, one look, one click. It's so close to us. This is what you must understand. It's so close. Sin is at the door. As he spoke to Cain, sin lies at the door. It's a thin door that separates you from sin. So it is important for you to be aware of it, because if you don't watch, you will find yourself on the other side. You will find yourself doing what is inappropriate in your life and staining your conscience, your reputation, your good name, your peace with God, destroying your marriage, your career, everything. You will destroy them. Why? Because you didn't have a clear line to separate and divide and say, I won't cross this line. Because as I just said, as on borders, the imaginary line only exists in maps, am I right? And it's not visible to the naked eye. You don't see, this is Brazil, this is Uruguay, this is Argentina. People know, but there's not a clear line. Likewise, you need to have on the map of your mind a line. I don't cross this line. This limit, I don't go through. You need to set these limits in us that we may not commit stupidities against our own lives and destroy them, as many often do. But some may say, but who will decide what is appropriate or inappropriate? What if this is appropriate to me and to the other it's not? Yes, here's the problem. Then I ask you, who has decided which tree should not be touched in the garden? It was God. So who decides the appropriate and the inappropriate is Him. I won't trust in myself, because if we let ourselves decide what is appropriate or inappropriate to us or others, do you know what will happen? What is happening in the world? What is happening today in the world? The right is called wrong and the wrong is called right. Why? Because people separated themselves from God. And when humans do that, they can inverse everything. Who said that? I said that. I'm my own God. I'm my own master. So if you are your own master, so you will decide what is right or wrong for you. And like this, the world will be upside down, as it is, because it distanced from the garden, from God, from what He determines as right or wrong. So if you want to live your life with no complications, no problems, if you want to live your life under God's care, who knows better than us, then go to God. Go to His Word. Are you going to do something? The Holy Scriptures are a manual for our lives. If you consult it, you will find direction. Certain things you won't find, such as, should I watch this? No, you won't find it written in the Bible, but the Bible will guide you in such a way that you will be able, through the Word of God, to know if that is good for you or not. So, do this examination of your own life and be alert to the inappropriate that can be very close to you. And sometimes you slip up and you don't notice that you are playing a dangerous game. If today's video helped you and you know someone that could benefit from it, share it with them. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you may do so now. See you later.